Excuse me. Hey, good evening, everyone. It is evening. I'm down here at the bus terminal. It is actually 2:28 right now, so we are on June 22nd, which makes day 8. Sorry, I have to go over all this because I'm like, which day is it? There's usually a trick I can figure out, like if it's but never mind. Let's not go down that way. Anyway, I'm down here at the bus station. It's a little late in the evening, like usual. It seems like that's how I roll, and that's just how it is. So, out of recommendation of Doug, told me to come down to the bus station, jump on the 101, and just explore explore Georgetown that way. And this is actually literally what I've done before when I'm scouting out either campsites or just to get to know a location to get on a bus. And it's a cheap way to explore the town and stuff like this. And for lack of any imagination, it sounded like the best thing to do. So I'm gonna jump on the 101, which is right here, and see where it takes me. I better figure out if I need a ticket first. Okay, because of the reflection, you can't probably see it. The 101 is leaving at 2:45, so in about 15 minutes there, 4 ringgit. So that's not bad. So it's 4 ringgit is basically $1. And you can actually, for 30 ringgit, get a 7-day bus pass. So if you would rather do that, like if you're planning on staying here for 7 days, and you want unlimited rides, then it would definitely be worth it. Which would come out to about $5. And honestly, I don't know. Am I going to stay here for a whole week? It's so far in the evening right now. I'll just wait till, if I decide I'm going to stay here for a whole week, then, which I can, but then I would invest in that. But honestly, I think I get a little restless before then. So anyway, guys, the 101. I'll be leaving here in 15 minutes. It's 2:33 right now. And then we're going to the national park, by the way. That's the very last stop on the 101. That's why it was a recommendation by Doug. He told me it's the longest trip out to the national park, and then take it back, and that way I can explore the island a little more before taking my bicycle out on the roads. I'll be able to gauge a little more what the climbs and declines are like, to see if I really want to do it. I looked into the scooter just a bit, and from people that have already rented the scooter, and they were telling me they do check for international driver's license, which in Thailand and stuff like that, if you're willing to, they don't check. And if you're willing to pay the fine, if you do get pulled over, Thailand's really cheap. It's like $15 is what it came out to US. And that gave you a 7-day grace period to keep riding your scooter. So it's almost like, I got pulled over in Chiang Mai. So, because I decided to go from Chiang Mai up to Pai and then back. And yeah, so it was, the only hardship about that in Thailand was it was same day. When you got the ticket, you had to go right then and actually go pay for it. But yeah. So I'm heading to the national park and I'll pick it up there. All right, guys. Well, I made it to the last stop on the bus here in Teluk Bahang, and I'm right at actually the entrance of the national park, so which is the Penang National Park. So I figured I'd stop in here. I got a, well, they were out of lime. It was lime sour plum, but I got a lemon sour plum. 8 ringgit, so $1, and 8 ringgit actually is $2. And then I got a apple fried rice, or not apple fried rice, excuse me, pineapple fried rice, and that was 10 ringgit, so it comes out what, 250. So all in all, this was probably just almost as expensive as the rice. I figured I'd get something to eat before going in. I don't know how much it is for entrance into it. But I figured I wanted to go take a hike at least out to the lighthouse out there, and then back. And the buses run up to 11 o'clock. So at least that's what Google. Every time I ask the bus drivers, "What time do you ride? Does the bus actually run up to?" They go every half an hour. I don't know if they keep saying that means they run 24 hours, because if they don't tell me, they're not telling me what time they actually stop. And I'm like, no, what time do you run till? And they're like, every half an hour. I'm like, okay, well. So I'm just going to take Google's word for it. Yeah, you know, it's like anytime you Google something now, AI jumps up and says it's this. But I've learned to double check AI, because a lot of times JI is just pulling it off the web anyway. And the web is, you know, you can't trust everything on the web. So AI is wrong a lot. I've had to double check AI, and Plenty of times it's come up mistaken, but that's okay. I'm mistaken all the time too. And when you're building a system upon a flawed system, us being that flawed system, there's going to be flaws in the ointment, you know. And anyway, so always double check AI. When it pulls up something, throws it at you, it doesn't mean it's right off the bat. So anyway, I'm going to have something to eat and then head in, and that's the plan. And yeah, Georgetown's actually really nice. So I might extend my stay too, just because they have a lot to offer here. And I'm gonna, although I'm still bicycling through Malaysia, I'm gonna slow down a little. You know, it's like watching Let's Go Bicycle. Let's Go Bicycling. I know a lot of you guys watch him too. I mean, he's moving. He's constantly moving. He's putting down some real terrain. And I'm going to veer away from, try and slow it down a little bit, because that seems to be the request of a lot of people. Because I can understand that it becomes repetitive. It's just everything's flying by all the time. But that's what it is. It's bicycling, you know. But yeah. All right, guys. Go get some pictures of the national park after I get something to eat. All right. Oh, there it is. Pineapple fried rice. So I know I just said something about the park, so make sure I don't have something on my face like I did yesterday. That was annoying. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't even realize it until I was in editing that I had that big thing on my face, and I'm surprised I didn't notice it. I guess the camera was far enough away from me that I didn't actually see it, or I wasn't paying attention to it. But that was like right there. So that's one of the hazards, I guess, of eating and talking into a camera. Is sometimes you're going to have crap on your face. And anyway, what I was noticing is there's some complaints about the park about locals being 10 ringgit and foreigners being 50 ringgit, and 50 ringgit comes out to almost like $12. $12? Yeah, something like $12.50. And us being at 427 right now, usually these parks close by like 5 o'clock and stuff, so I might, it's all right. I might just explore the town and stuff like that while I'm up here, and skip the park, because it says 50 ringgit plus half of it's not even accessible anymore. So I don't know which half they're actually talking about. It says the park itself is well kept and preserved. Unfortunately, I did not find the beaches very different from the others on the island, always murky. Also, the prices for foreigners are unfair, high compared to locals, 50 versus 10. And this is only 4 months ago, so I mean, it hasn't changed too much, considering that certain parts of the park are not even accessible anymore. So I don't know which parks are going in, but yeah, that kind of seems like an unfair price, especially this late in the evening. Now, if I would have gotten up earlier and hit this earlier, then yeah. But I have a habit of staying up late, working on editing and stuff like that. I'm trying to put out a semi-decent price, but quality of an editing job. But every single bit of it, the more artistic you get, like some of my earlier videos, I was really struggling to try and make it like a very, like a nice piece, you know. But every song that you put in, you have to, like, you know, one is trying to figure out a song that you don't want to really cut the ends of the song out, so you're trying to find a song that fits in perfectly. So you're going on, let's say YouTube has their own selection, right? You're finding one that actually fits the length of the section that it's in. And it is not too bad if it hangs over the end and bleeds into the end, and you can fade it out and you can cut it off at the end, but too much, then you're just affecting the actual song itself. And I've actually repeated a song and blended them together just so that they would match the section, because it was a good song. It just was not long enough. Because when you're trying to cover a 5-minute section, most songs are not 5 minutes. So, yeah, these are just all experimentations that I was doing as coming along. But the more artistic-y, you know, the more artsy-fartsy that you get with it, then the longer it takes. And, you know, like choosing a song, making sure that song's long enough, getting the right fades and stuff, and, you know, oh, I don't like this fade, I've used this one too much, you know, like the mixed fade compared to the opening, like where the circle opens, right? Now, if you have something that you're filming that's a circle, it looks nice when a circular open, you know, opening happens when you transition from one scene to the other. But much of this, then I'm looking at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's pretty well that way anyway. Because if I spend 2 hours on editing, which is common, then an hour in the process of actually saving it, because that's how long U-cut usually takes, and then an hour to 2 hours uploading it, or sometimes more depending on what the Wi-Fi is like. I can usually ignore once I start uploading it, but just the 2 hours, 3 hours, you're looking at 3 to 4 hours of just actual, you know, editing per night, per day. And if I start at 8, then I'm not done till 12, and that's when I realize I have to at least start by 8. And I've been getting late to it, starting at 9 and 10. Now I'm looking at 2 o'clock in the morning before I'm done. So that's why a lot of times I wake up late and start the day late, because especially if I got a room, then I take advantage of the fact that I'm in a bed and I'm in either a cool spot or a warm spot and a dry spot. Now when I'm camping, I'm up earlier. It's just because the sun will do it to you. But I have actually slept in too. I've had some really nice camping areas. That park was a really nice one, even though I didn't have any water. And there's been a few of them. Now the bus stations, when I slept in those, I get up early because the kids are going to school. And I don't want to be there when there's in and out traffic and stuff. It's not really a kid's school bus stop. I'm not sleeping on that. It was, but the fact is they're getting dropped off and picked up and whatever in those locations. And so yeah. You know, this is what happens when you're playing everything by ear and you're making it up as you go along. But anyway, don't think I'm gonna try and sneak into the park. But that would be good for good TV, sneaking into the park. I don't have anything against it. I have something against getting caught, but yeah, so anyway, I might just explore the town, and then after I'm done exploring this town, turn around, head back, or maybe see if there's a bus that goes in a different, like, farther in the other direction. So, alright guys. Anyway, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, not bad. So I was right about the national park. I just went to the entrance to the national park, which is actually right over there. And they were already closed. So that solved that. So I'm stuck to just exploring everything on foot here and walking around and just checking everything out. I have no idea what's up in this town. Well, I never have any idea. I just go there. So I saw this boardwalk over here and I was like, man, let's walk the boardwalk. Sorry, hit the wrong button. My finger slipped and hit the off button. Okay, there looks like a beach over on that side with boats and stuff like that. So I might head over that way, see what's going on. There's nothing this way, just construction work. A lot of construction work at the park entrance, and they're closed anyway. I'll walk out a little farther to the end here and see what the view's like. Hey. So I decided to hop the bus to Batu, Ferringhi, which is the next town down. That's the one we passed right there at the end. And yeah, I figured it's 5:11 right now. I better get to hopping around and whatever. Maybe I'll get an earlier start. I'll extend my stay a little bit. And the bus should be here pretty soon, but extend my stay a little and do a little more exploring around here in Georgetown before I start hopping on the bicycle again and pedaling out of this place. So yeah, I'll stay a little longer, guys. Sorry about starting late, but that happens. So Batu, Ferringhi, or Ferringhi. There I go with the butchering again. So I'm just waiting on the bus, and that's the next stop. So here we are. I don't know what's going on with the bus right now. It's 5:45. We just got kicked off. The 5:15 bus never showed up, right? 5:15 bus never showed up. And then the next one was supposed to be a half an hour. So it was like 5:34. That one was late. And when I got on the bus, when he did finally come by, he said, no, don't pay when I got on, and then drove us all down to this bus stop, which is just a few stops, and told us all to get off. So I'm assuming the bus has problems. So anyway, it's getting later and later in the day, and I'm thinking about if the buses are having problems like that and stuff, I might just head all the way back to where my hostel's at. That's in the old part of town. Like I said, I started late today, and I might just skip on going to Batu, Ferringhi. Maybe pick it up some other time. Like I said, I'm just exploring by bus. I've done it before. I mean, that's actually what was one of the main ways of actually exploring new spots I would go to. Is either the light rail is pretty awesome because it goes all in one direction, stops, turns around, comes back, and it's a cheap way to scout out, the town, see what's around. Also, like I said, it's good for camping. It can backfire on you sometimes because sometimes they need the destination. Like here, they need to know where you're going so they can charge you accordingly. So and that's sometimes difficult if you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where the bus is going, then how are you going to know where you're going? So yeah, and it can backfire on you because once in Hawaii, I actually, how I say I always buy stuff from the military surplus store because it's sometimes new, sometimes secondhand, but it's military, so it's been tested, and it's good quality for cheap. And I started rolling around. I had my Carhartts on and all this with just sewn up patches, like nothing no patches that had anything on them, no emblems or anything, just patches. But then I had this flight jacket that had all these military patches on them, and they're not real military patches. This was like some, even though I got it from a military store, it was like a Chinese made, but I got it for cheap, and I just left the patches on. And the bus went on to a military base, and the MP got on, the military police, and started going, badges, badges, badges. Comes up to me. I have a fake military jacket on with all these fake patches on it, looking like a hobo. And he looks at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, man, I didn't even know this was coming on the base. And he goes, that's all right. I felt embarrassed because I later found out about what stolen valor is. And stolen valor is a real thing. That's where you dress up as a military person. I wasn't trying to do that by any at all, but yeah, that's where you dress up like a military person to go out panhandling or something like that. You know, con artists do this type of stuff, or just to get respect. That's why it's called stolen valor. You're trying to get respect for something that you never done. So I wasn't trying to do that. I just, you know, it was a cool looking jacket. I bought it. It was brand new. It was really cheap because it was a China thing, you know, China made garbage. And yeah, so I kind of felt really embarrassed sitting there looking all foolish. But he was cool. He's like, just stay on the bus. Just stay on the bus. It'll take you all around the base and then right back out. And yeah, so I kind of got a free tour out of it. But at the same time, I later on found out about stolen valor, and that just made me feel that much more embarrassed. And since then, I've not worn anything with patches on it that would even give the hint. Now, I still like military grade material, but if it has a patch on it that I didn't earn, then I'll remove that patch, you know. Or I'll at least, you know, I'll remove it just to, you know, be safe, man. I mean, so, because I have a high respect for all our military people, and yeah, stolen valor is a thing, and I'd rather not be that guy. So, anyway, guys, I'm just gonna wait on the next bus. I don't know when it's gonna be here. He obviously is on the phone trying to call one out, and yeah, I might just head all the way back. And yeah, so there's a story. There's a hobo ramble for you. All right, guys. Well, living up to my reputation of not being able to make any decisions and changing my mind all the time, I went ahead and decided to stop in Batu, Ferringhi. I guess the bus was actually just waiting for a bus that was behind him that possibly was having problems. So I figured it's early enough in the day. I got enough daylight still, so. Plus I can check this one off the list. That means if I explore it now, I don't have to explore it later. So I might as well just go ahead and yeah, get exploring. My exploring in today. That way it doesn't feel like a full waste of a day. You know, sometimes, well, not sometimes. Every time you wake up late, it feels like you wasted the day. So. You see him looking at me? He's right there. I'll leave him alone. He's just a monitor lizard. I'm not trying to ruin his day. I just saw him poking.
Akan jadi yang terbaik untuk cintamu. Dengan cinta ini, jangan kau ragu-ragu, ku jadi kekasihmu. Percaya padaku, aku jangan beribu akan kau lihat.
funny how everything gets so quiet here. It's 9:46 and the busiest street goes to bed early. Armenian Street actually turns into like almost like a quiet little ghost town at night, which I like because the hostel's right around the corner. So anyway, guys, it is nighttime and I haven't started editing anything yet. And like I said, it's going on 10 o'clock, so it's probably going to be a late night for me again, but that's fine. I'm in the process of extending one more night tomorrow night, and then but that'll probably be the last night here in Georgetown. Who knows? You know, I'm not going to make any promises one way or the other. But yeah, I like this place. So Georgetown is a nice town. So anyway, guys, I'm going to say hasta la night, and yeah, good night, y'all, and see you tomorrow.